Hey, everybody. Thanks for downloading this episode of the Black and Gold podcast, Postgame edition, the first one of 2025, brought to you by Appalachia Commercial Real Estate. Appalachia Commercial Real Estate provides professional real estate services in the Boone area. They provide sales, leasing, consulting, and appraisal services to owners and users of commercial real estate. If you want more information, go check out their website at AppalachianCRE.com. And Charles, what's the number where you can call or text President James Milner?
828-719-0408.
There you go. And here we go. We're off and running here in our first post-game episode. I'm your host, Alex Johnson. With me, as always, the world's most famous App State fan. He is Big C. We're recording this on a Sunday when we usually record post-game episodes, although it has been a day in between what we saw on Friday night. So that's pretty cool. So we got a full day to digest, watch. Maybe, I don't know, Charles, did you watch more of the game after?
I did. I haven't watched enough like I thought I would yet, but I did watch it actually Friday night late. But yeah.
So we just got to get this out of the way because this is something that the people want to know. People want to talk about it. They've been clamoring and wanting to know over and over and over again. How's your fantasy draft? What's the deal with what's your fantasy league? How do you feel you did?
I think I did okay. We had a little technological snafu at the place we were at, so we had to stop halfway between and then go back to our house and then finish it off. But I think I did pretty good.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. Well, what was it? Can I ask the number one pick?
My number one pick or the number one pick in our league?
Your number one pick.
My number one pick was Saquon Barkley. I actually didn't want him, but he fell to me, so I had to take him.
What position were you in the draft?
I was 5th of 12.
Do you think that 12 is a great number for a fantasy league? Like if it's less than that or more than that, it's not optimal?
I do. Yeah, 12. I think 12 was perfect. If you get to 14 teams or 16 teams, you're really thinning out offenses, and you're really waiver wire searching week to week. But if you have 10, there's almost teams are too stacked.
Yeah,
and can overcome from injuries and things of that nature. So I think 12 is the perfect spot, kind of the best challenge, in my opinion.
Very good. What'd you think? Friday night, packed house in the Queen City. Charles, what do we think about the game? We haven't talked about this at all.
No,
Zero
we haven't.
conversations have been had between me and Charles on purpose. On my end, it's been on purpose. But Charles, what do you think?
I think pleasantly surprised, because there was so much uncertainty, that word's going to get tossed around a lot and we're going to get tired of using it, unknowns and things of that nature. But I don't feel like the moment was too big for anyone. I am curious how good Charlotte is going to be, because I think that was if there's any type of pump the brakes moment, it's that they didn't look real good. Now, and we all know this. Is that us or is that them, or is it a combination of both? I'm going to guess a combination of both right now. I mean, I don't think we're world beaters, but we look pretty good considering game one. I mean, as good as you can expect.
I agree. I think Adam said this on the post game. We got out of there really quick. Of course, we stayed to the end and had a really sweet spot on the Mint Hill or the Mint Street parking deck right there. So I was able to get in and turn on the post game right away, which was great. I got to hear pretty much the whole thing. And I think Adam said it really well when he said that didn't look like a team that was playing for the first time together. That didn't look like a team that had a brand new coaching staff, brand new players, and everything else. It really didn't. I was very, very impressed. I think that Coach Loggins and his post-game comments in the locker room to Matt Present, I think that when I first heard him, because I was like, man, we got so much juice tonight. Like the teams, the body language, the intensity, the speed at which we're playing, it looks different. It just looks different than it has in years. And Matt Present was basically, coach, like, wow, cool, happy, congratulations. And he's like, always happy with the win. We got to tighten some things up, but love the effort. And I was like, come on, man. Like you beat your chest a little bit. And Matt President even like tried to give him an opportunity to do that and said, but coach, I mean, it's your first, and he's like, yep, happy with the win. We got to tighten some stuff up. Really love the effort. But now that I've sat on it like an extra day and watched some of the game back, and that was exactly correct. I think though that obviously Coach Loggins hasn't seen what we've seen over the years, so I think I was just more reacting to, for the first time, I think in I don't know, I don't want to go back and legislate like years, like 21 versus 22 versus 23 or whatever, but I would say the fluid nature of the game, how it was called on offense, just was refreshing. I thought the play designs and the calls were good. I thought they made sense. And what's interesting, a lot of people have been pumping up AJ Swan. And look, he played great. I'm not saying he didn't play great, but I feel like Coach Loggins, to his credit, really put him in positions where he could succeed. Charles, I don't think there was a pass that I can remember. Now, he threw a lot of passes, but there wasn't a pass that I can think of where I was like, oh no, that's a dangerous one, where it felt like we've just experienced a lot of those. Like, that's a risky throw. What are we doing? He missed some open receivers, but it felt like when he missed, it was missed in a way that wasn't putting us in danger, if that makes sense. But I thought offensively we stumbled a little bit at first, but I don't know. I thought a lot of what we were seeing made sense. And even though we might have missed in a couple of opportunities, I was confident that eventually we'd bust through.
Yeah, I thought AJ was, pretty good. I'm really surprised we threw the ball as much as we did.
Right.
Considering we, had the lead for most of the game. But there were a couple throws where, you weren't sure, is he missing, or was that an intentional miss?
Right.
Yeah. I meant that, and there were a couple where I was like, oh, maybe a little high or kind of missed his guy. But otherwise, I mean, for the most part, 31 out of 46 is pretty straightforward. I mean, that is, right at 2/3 of your passes complete, so I think you take that, you had no interceptions. He got one completed deep, only took one sack. Good job by the offensive line all day, really. I mean, we ran the ball good enough. Rashad Dominion is a big person, and he's tough to take down. He's very different than what we've had at running back.
Yeah.
Especially with his, ability to catch the ball in the backfield. You need to do a lot with him, but he did catch 5 balls, I believe. And I thought that was really good. I mean, it's very clear that Jaden Barnes is a football player. Is going to be he's going to be a problem for a lot of people, it seems. He played really, really well. And when he had, obviously he could have, scored that touchdown. And, that play that was reviewed where the ball got knocked out before he got in. But I don't think he thought anybody was there, which was fair, but still you gotta finish the play, and he knows that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was a pretty clean game. Looking back at the box score, it didn't feel like Dalton Stroman caught 8 passes for 88 yards, but it just kind of did.
Some over the middle too.
I know, right? Not Dalton Stroman type plays that we have seen in the past. And
I think that was said on this podcast. Dalton Stroman's not catching anything over the middle, and then I saw him catch a couple over the middle. I was like, wow. Didn't think we'd see that.
Right. So that's that's good. And tight ends were involved, right? All things like, we kind of would expect. But it definitely was not your typical App State looking offense. I know that we all knew that was going to be the case. But it looked a little bit different. It definitely had that NFL appearance to it. And
it really did.
I was pleased, really pleased by the way they played, really 3 quarters. The first quarter, was some kind of getting the wheels greased a little bit and shaking off some rust. But, after that, I mean, we held, we possessed the ball for 9 minutes in the second, third, and fourth quarter of each one. And that's how you put people away.
Yeah.
Got a little hairy there late, within 2 scores in the fourth quarter. But I think it was nice that we went down and went and scored a touchdown and intentionally scored a touchdown. Like we're throwing a 1-yard touchdown pass, to basically put the game out of reach. and give us the final score. So I enjoyed it. Happy for everybody. I don't know what more you could want out of a game one. In the situation that we were in.
I agree, and we've really just kind of touched on offensively, like how we looked in that first quarter, kind of looking. Charles, I don't know. Maybe you were in a different headspace than me, but when I saw our defense playing as fast and as physical as they were, and can't remember who asked the question this week in the mail satchel, but someone said, "Would you rather the defense play well, the offense play well, or like what needs to get up to a better start?" And I said, I just wanted someone to dictate. Like I wanted us to dictate something to the other team. Like I wanted us to set the tone or set the pace on one side of the ball or both. And the way we were, what DJ Smith said, confused, attack, and harassing the quarterback in that defensive line, I thought that was a defense that was moving together in spots where they were supposed to be. The front seven, I think, was especially impressive. I thought that we didn't sack Harrell, which kind of surprised me looking back at it. But there were a lot of instances where he was feeling pressure and had to throw, had to get rid of the ball. And our linebackers were tackling. We just haven't seen I can't think of the last game where we were consistently tackling and hitting hard 4 quarters. The defense played that way for 4 quarters. And the secondary, there's maybe some things to smooth out there, which is fine. I don't think Harrell's a great passer. I don't, you just mentioned, is this more of a Charlotte thing or an app thing? I'm glad we played this game first to maybe work on some stuff, put some stuff on film for the team to look at. But in my mind, just talking defense specific, those first 3 possessions, I was like, this is different. We're moving at a different speed. We have different body language. We're hitting harder. We're tackling better. It was so clear to me that was the tone that was being set. Now, whether they could sustain it or not, I don't know. But they did. They did for 4 quarters. They played hard defense, and I don't know. I was really, really encouraged by that. And then DJ Smith on the sideline wearing that chain and the Thug Life glasses, like he's the meme. All he was missing is a cigar, and then he'd be like a cowboy and then the Wild West. So he was down there just coaching his guys up, and that was just a different defense, Charles. The physicality that we've been asking for and wanting and really only got from a handful of players last year, I felt like that physicality and that just intense body language was all over the field last night. I don't think it was position specific. I was really pleased with the speed and intensity from defense, and to me, that was the highlight, was how well our defense played.
If there's any complaint on the defense, it's that Charlotte got 4 first downs via penalty, and they only got 15 all game long. So obviously there was some a lot of targeting reviews, a little over the top in my opinion, but it's going to be what's going to be. But we did a really good job limiting them on the ground, which is probably where they wanted to live more if they could, and because they couldn't, we kind of forced Harrell to do some things, that made him uncomfortable. And so when you just look at the yardage given up and the first downs allowed, that's kind of a little bit of a shutdown game that they had. And let's hope and keep that up. And it's not something that it's just a Charlotte deal. Is this what we have? We will know next week. No, probably not. We'll probably be able to tell a little bit more. But I guess game 3 is probably what we're all thinking about right now. And what does that look like? So, not to get ahead, but, Southern Miss looms large. Speaking of Southern Miss real quick, they hosted Mississippi State at home and didn't get their place sold out. Embarrassing. Just want to say that out loud.
That's humiliating.
Yeah. There was a ton of Mississippi State fans in Hattiesburg, but yes, September 13th, 2 Saturdays, from now, 7:00, that will loom large. I think that will be a very entertaining game to watch, and we'll get a better idea of maybe who we are. And then, looking even further ahead, Boise, got embarrassed on the road a little bit.
God.
So it goes to show what happens when you lose good football players off your team, such as Boise with Ashton Genty. But I mean, it's something to look forward to. I don't think anybody has this uneasiness now, except for just the kind of the wait and see. Like there's probably going to be excitement leading up to Saturday. I know that, and then the following, like it's getting that one was very, very big. It kind of gets that monkey off your back if we must, because if we'd have lost that team that doesn't look great, we would have felt really bad. But it was a pretty dominating performance, to be honest.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. I thought about this. I don't know if you felt this way or if you felt a shift, but I did when McBurrows caught that interception there right before halftime. Dude, I was so pumped. We had such a lack of takeaways last year. And just, again, just defensive struggles last year. And then the DJ play Tricky by Run DMC. It's Trick to Rock. And then the whole, especially my section, we're just kind of bouncing to. And I was, my son and I went to the game, and we were like, I was sitting there. I'm thinking, like, I haven't felt this carefree, like, man, here we come. Because at that point, we had already now gone up. We'd already gone up ahead. We're starting to find a little bit more rhythm on offense because we'd kind of stumbled there in the first. We got that interception with like 30 seconds left. I was like, man, we're cooking again. And I don't know if I've felt that way in a while, where I wasn't that worried, and it really came down to because our defense was playing so well. Like, I feel like if we weren't playing as intense on defense, it really did harken back to the teens when as long as our defense is playing, like Scott Satterfield's getting out there and just kind of like, have a basic control the clock kind of deal. And you didn't really worry that much if you didn't score, because you knew that we had some guys on defense that were doing their job. All that together, I was like, man, this feels good. Like, this feels really good. Where last year there was a lot of almost like, oh, good. Oh, okay.
Relief.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got a turnover. It wasn't a party. It was like oh, thank God we got a break. This was different. And I don't know, did you feel that way when he got that turnover?
It's a little bit of an avalanche feeling, isn't it? It's like, hey, we're not only are we playing, like, are we scoring points, and we're up by 2 scores, and then the defense gives you one back, and it's like that's just a backbreaker, going into the half for the other team, who probably is not happy with the way they're playing. And you got to think about that for a long time. If you're an offense, you're like, hey, we won't, next time we get the ball back, we got to think about how long it's been, how much time has elapsed from halftime and then the next drive and all that. And the last thing on your mind going to the locker room is we turn the ball over.
Yep.
And we gave it to the other team. Yep. And that just hurts, So yeah, I know what you're saying. I know it's probably hard to describe. Like, you're like, man, yeah, that's more like what we're accustomed to, what we know works. But yeah, those are the backbreakers, like getting big play sacks and interceptions, like those really hurt other teams.
Yeah, and it felt like we came from a position of we were the front runners, and we did that. Like, there's nothing like kind of piling on, right? I mean, it's just like, hey, we're just here, we're partying, watching some football. Where if you're coming from the underdog or you're punching up and you get those things, you're like, oh boy, like we. So yeah, it was relief, and I think you're right about just going back to the schedule. And next week's going to be fun. First home games are always fun. That goes without being said. But Southern Miss, that's going to be a test. And then Boise looked terrible. And then I don't mean to I don't want to look too far ahead. But what was interesting is this weekend was so revealing, because then Oregon State looked terrible. Like, Oregon State looked terrible. Boise looked terrible. We looked like we were playing with a lot of juice. What does that mean? I'm not going to go week to week, because I felt like what Coach Loggins did with not releasing the 2 deep and nothing's coming out of camp at all, or nothing's coming out of the mothership. That made it feel like when the new Star Wars movie came out in 2015, my brother and I didn't watch any of the trailers. We watched none of it. And so we just wanted to sit there fresh. We didn't watch commercials. Like when the commercials would come on TV, the trailers, we wouldn't watch it. When they're fresh, I didn't know anything about the movie when I saw it for the first time. So actually experiencing these players for the first time was actually kind of cool, actually, if I'm going to be honest about it. Because I wasn't – AJ Swan starting didn't surprise me. Dubinion starting didn't surprise me. But I don't know. It was almost like I had no expectations. I didn't know what to think one way or the other. And then for them to play like that and back it up, it's like, oh, man, this is great. And no one got hurt, I don't think. I think Jaden Ramsey got banged up there for a second, but otherwise everybody looked good. Isaiah Cummings doesn't look like a tight end to me. He looks like a big like wide receiver.
Yeah.
I thought he was a wide receiver. Like when he kept running out there, and I was like, who's for? Like I don't think and it's like Isaiah Cummings. I was like, he looks a lot faster and more let's say just laterally quick than a typical tight end. David Larkins had a great acrobatic catch on the sidelines. It was good stuff. It's good to shut up the 49ers every now and then,
Of course. Yeah. And great job by our crowd, as expected.
Yep.
I felt like I didn't think as many tickets has been sold. Like I didn't really feel like it was really getting built up, like because of all the things we talked about last week, really from both sides. And I had no idea how many fans may show up. I was surprised by 35,000. I thought that was a really, really solid number. Yeah. And of course, we outnumber them in their backyard. It's not even arguable.
It wasn't even close.
I mean, when we played there in ECU 3 years ago, we outnumbered them. That made more sense. It shouldn't have made sense that we outnumbered them, but that's what App State does. We show up places, we support a team, and the crowd was loud, like on the TV from what I got to watch. Like made some big plays, and you could tell who owned that stadium on Friday night.
Yeah, but I think Scott Fowler wrote in the Observer 70-30. To me, it was either 60-40 or 65-35. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of Charlotte people. I do want to give credit, though. I mean, I poked fun of them on the socials, but like Georgia State doesn't put that many people in a crowd. Like Georgia State is like anemic. So at least Charlotte, they have enough of a pocket of folks that are going to show up in the thousands, which is good. I mean, it's like, all right, cool. But for them to claim the city, for them to have an enrollment and alumni base that is far greater than, I mean, they graduate, so they have 30,000 people, students. We have 20. They've had that for a long time. They claim Charlotte, they're out there on the loop at IKEA. And then for us to come down there and have that showing, it just really shows what kind of a fan base Appalachian State is. And I mentioned this to Hunter Bailey, the beat writer, is that I think a lot of people think, it's what a lot of Charlotte people think, that just all the App fans are like in Boone or Wilkesboro, and they come rolling off the mountain every now and then. But it's just not. It's not the case. They're not. Both of them are in Charlotte, and that just proves to be the case. And another thing too, I thought was interesting is, and I'm going more on like the internet stuff, but you see a lot of trash talk before games for sure. But like, man, crickets, all of a sudden, like I'm not seeing nearly as many Charlotte folks on the timeline. I think that was pretty demoralizing for them. And for the targeting, I want to talk about that for a second. So we had two targeting calls against us? I think it was two.
It felt like there was maybe a third, but maybe it's just two.
Well, one was called, was reviewed and not enforced. That was on
upheld.
That. Yeah, it's the new word, upheld. That defensive end, number 41, he came in. I think he didn't launch. I think that was the explanation on TV. He's like, because he didn't launch, it wasn't targeting or whatever. But there were two more. I think McCantos and was it Zero, the kid from LR, the linebacker? I think maybe he got targeting, which is a bummer. But you could say what you want about that, and then Charlotte they made a lot of penalties, they made a lot of mistakes, but Coach Albin said after the game, he's like, it really wouldn't have mattered if we had cleaned up and had no penalties. We were just getting beat on the lines. That's what I wanted to hear.
That was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty evident.
Yeah, it was.
I think sometimes another coach will, in post-game comments, compliment to an extent, and say, "Hey, they beat us. This is what I was worried about. They did it. They did it anyway. They showed up and they were App State, and he knows all about us, right?" And I also thought it was quite interesting. Loggins said in his presser, talking about Charlotte being like, "This is what we consider our home base." Like I mean, that is, I don't know if that guy is that cold. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just
I thought the same thing.
I was like, is this intentional? Like, is he poking the bear here, or just saying, "No, this is not your city. This is our city too." It almost, like I said, I wasn't sure. I was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
That felt. I'm sorry. That felt so much like a more polished, professional Steve Spurrier comment to me.
Yeah,
like that was such a. I mean, he basically said, with all due respect, right?
Yeah, with all due
respect to Charlotte, but this is our place, and I thought the exact same thing. I thought, I guarantee you. And here's another thing that we've learned about. I think I've taken away from Coach Loggins is, I think that dude really is like, this is the way I'm doing it. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to be excited about it one way or the other. This is what it seems like. No, I'm not going to release too deep. No, I'm not going to tell you anything. And I'm going to be flat the whole time I talk about it. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to sell anything. Yes, we're happy with the win. We got to clean stuff up. All due respect to Charlotte, but this is our house, and and it keeps you thinking, like, what's really going on back there? Because you're always curious about what you don't know, right? You want to know what's behind the door, and the guy's like, "Sorry, I'm not going to tell you." It's like, man, I just want to know. I want to know so bad. But he went toe to toe, and this is another thing that you can really take away from this matchup. You have two programs, both put a lot of money in their football program. Charlotte does. Charlotte really invests in football. Like, they want football to be a thing, and they really, really do. They go from scratch, new head coaches, brand new staffs. They don't keep anybody on. 55, I think. They both have 55 new players. A true head-to-head, like, who's going to do a better job putting teams together in every facet. Charlotte got out-coached, out-executed, played better on defense. We played better on offense. We had better players on the field. I mean, kudos. I mean, this is to me, it's a huge dub for Loggins to come in there and it not look like fresh meat. Like, it looked like they've been doing that for a while. And I don't know, man. I mean, Drinkwitz walked in. The cupboard was full is an understatement. But Loggins, he put this all together, him and that staff, him and DJ Smith and the other guys he hired to go out there and pound the pavement and get in the portal, and it looked great. I mean, it really looked awesome. So I'm really, really excited. I know you are too, to see, like, week to week, like, are we sustaining this thing? Is Swan gonna command the offense and be that more of that game manager, not necessarily a playmaker, but like that game manager and taking care of the ball? Like, is this what we're going to see? Is the defense going to maintain that level of intensity? And is Dubinion going to not get hurt? Because that'd be cool if he didn't get hurt. I don't think Saturday will tell us much, but I don't care. If we should be able to take care of business, and it looked like we're taking care of business like it did on Friday night.
Friday.
Sorry.
Tough. No, it's preseason for everybody, right? But no, I think the way I guess we started just talking about this, when we got on, is pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think that's perfect adjective. It's give them all the credit for going out there and winning a game when people were kind of like slightly doubting them a little bit. Like we for all the talk of what we had last week, it's almost like we're not talking about the things that we were really worried about. We don't care about too deep anymore, do we? Because we won, because it worked.
I mean, hey man, you know,
1 week jokes are the best, right?
they really are. No, I maintain that it's still like it's still great to have a reason to be excited because you can only have so, and I think you and I have disproportionately more conversations about like, hey man, give us some details, what's going on up there, and you're like, how many times can you say I don't know? Like I don't know,
Right.
like, but just having a taste like it was Jakari Lewis, number what number was he? Number 23. I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, Jakari Lewis, number 22. I'm sorry. He ran a little bit. That's a true freshman. He looked pretty good out there. Number 26, Kamani Alexander. I mean, these are hungry young freshmen that looked fast and strong. I mean, obviously they didn't do what Rashad Dubinion did, but now we got something. We got film. We know numbers. We have a mental image. If you watch close enough, you have a kind of a mental image of how these guys played. I'm telling you, when Jaden McBurrows hit that that running back on that sweep, and I think it was in the second half. I don't know, it was the third or fourth quarter. He crushed him, speared him, and like I want to see number 18 play again because of that. I mean, it's little things like that that kind of pile up when you get exposure to the roster, and yeah, man, winning solves everything, right? I mean, you feel good. It's like cool. Let us know when to show up next time, Coach. I'll still have the player guide so I can see the names, but we're excited.
I don't think this week we're talking about which quarterback right now. Swan went out there and delivered. At no point on Friday night did it appear that that was in flux. I never thought to myself 1 second like, hey, we need to get somebody else out there. This ain't looking good. Nah, it worked to a T. I don't think you could have asked for anything better. And then we did have a direct snap, So Cole got a couple snaps. We got a direct snap to running back. So we had over 2.5. We received a snap. How about that?
Yep. How about that?
That was a lucky call.
Well, we scored on one of those, right? When that Binion scored on, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
How about that?
It's awesome. And I'm also glad to see I saw Zaire Gamble out there making some good plays. You feel a little extra for the guys that stuck around that have been here, like David Larkin's making some plays. Like that's always fun. And Colton, now on TV, they call him Colton Ferris, but is it Ferris or Ferris? I don't even know anymore, but he's bulked up and he played really well and really physical at linebacker. He's sitting there playing middle linebacker. He looked good. It's just always when you're going on the road and you're in a stadium that, well, I know a lot of our listeners go to Panthers games or whatever. When you make that trip into like less familiar territory to watch your team and they perform like that, it's almost like the best feeling in the world because like that trip was worth it. I went, did something out of the normal, and then you don't even care about the traffic going home. You're like, this is great. Feel great.
It was a great day and great night overall.
Really was. Anything else? I mean,
I don't think so. Like, there's a lot more content. Obviously when you play terrible or you don't win, and you can complain a little bit more, and all that good stuff. But it's really kind of nice to just get on here and be like, proud of my team. Proud of them going out there and, to an extent, proving people wrong. Like, hey, this isn't as bad. That we can get this turned around. This is the result of what the portal can and can do for you, right? You can get rid of those things quickly and add people to your team that didn't start their college careers here. Not like we like to see. They didn't start their careers here and they go out and they just go play the jersey they're wearing right now, which is what we're happy about, right? It makes us feel good. Makes us look forward to the next one.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is good. It's good stuff. So I did want to share this. This was kind of fun because I don't know about you, but because the way our defense was playing, I was getting a lot of text messages from former players like, hey, this is what we're talking about, right? So one of those players that texted me was John Law, and he said, hey, I'm going to take the targeting in game one, just so people know we're not messing around anymore.
Don't run those routes. We're coming. You know.
He said, put it on film. He said, we're not messing around. he said, we'll take it game one. So, targeting is not good. You don't want to get in trouble, but at the same time, you say, hey, whatever happened to us at South Alabama, where South Alabama was cracking our heads last September, whenever that was, ain't happening anymore. Like, we're going to be the ones cracking heads over the middle. And anyway, so good stuff. All right, well, this is great. Game one under our belt in the new era. And we'll have a lot more to talk about here in the coming days with our preview episode. But I guess that's it. Charles, you want to say goodbye to the folks?
Any day where you have 350 more yards than the other team is usually going to be a good day.
Usually so. Yes, it will. All right. Thanks for downloading this episode of the Black and Gold Podcast. Thanks to James Milner and Appalachian Commercial Real Estate for sponsoring our post-game episode. I think this is the 9th season that James has done this, so we're always happy to continue our partnership with Appalachian Commercial Real Estate. And until later this week when we have a preview episode for our game this Saturday, go Apps.